And we're live. What's going on, everybody? It is Maddie Big Chest with DWZ underscore Dr. PT. How are you doing today? Board certified doctor of physical therapy. Dr. Kyle, how are you doing?
Can you just introduce me everywhere? I love it.
Yeah.
I'm good. Memphis and I we live streamed and recorded the fabulous Big Bet. So that'll be in your phone podcast app tomorrow morning. But if you want to catch it on YouTube or Periscope, whatever it is, shows up on Twitter, you can catch it right now if you want to get the lines while they're good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, here we are. Holy shit, week 14. Maddie, stop growing up. You just get older and things go faster. It's literally like that movie Click, except I haven't done anything purposefully to hit fast forward like that asshole did.
You know, he would rewind it to watch the ladies run by. I would rewind it to get Kenny Galladay back on my team. That's what I would use the remote for. But this MRI segment is brought to you by ViridianGlobal.com. If you want to be the best and look the best in your fantasy football leagues, head over to ViridianGlobal.com and buy a couple shirts on me. You use the code MBC2020 and you save 10% off the first time if you're buying from the Viridian Wear collection. So this is a Viridian Wear collection shirt right here. It's a Matt Patricia with a clown nose on it. The man who should not be named. We don't speak his name anymore.
He gone.
The bad man is gone.
He gone.
That's great news for us Lions fans. So let's go into some injuries. Let's go into Darrell Henderson, who looks like he'll play next week, but he had a little knee injury that sidelined him in the Cardinals game.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound serious because there's not a lot of information out there on it. Again, it's Wednesday right now, so Wednesday practice is probably optional for just about everybody at this point in the season. Tomorrow will probably be a key one. Friday, of course, is the the Rams play tomorrow night.
Oh,
you'll know tomorrow morning. So that's an easy one to figure out, guys. You'll know tomorrow first thing during the day if he's going to play. I imagine probably around lunchtime. And if he's not, no other games have been played this week, so there's nothing to worry about. So yeah, you just have to worry about Cam Akers, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And there's another Memphis running back on this list that I'm
the only injury that matters this week.
It really is, dude. Because this guy's
really
5% of my teams. That's why it matters. It's my darling Antonio Gibson with a turf toe injury. It looked bad too.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I saw a freeze frame of it. I didn't see it live, but yeah, I just can't. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to play this week. I honestly I think he might be done for the fantasy playoffs. I don't know too many instances of guys getting pretty significant turf toe and coming back in a week or two. It's a very nagging injury, and if it doesn't get to 95 to 100%, you're just that much more likely to re-injure it. So that's a huge bummer to Antonio Gibson's stellar rookie season.
Yeah, and if they lose a game, I guarantee they won't rush him back because they're not going to make the playoffs with the Giants being the Giants and somehow sneaking in by beating the Redskins twice. I mean the Washington football team twice. I almost said the bad name. And then we have a quarterback on the list. We have a big quarterback name. The Bengals. Brandon Allen suffered a chest injury, and Ryan Finley filled in for him.
Yes.
So what's your take on Brandon Allen and Ryan Finley? What do you think about them?
Irrelevant on all counts. Yeah, I mean, how fantasy relevant were they for the wide receivers this past week? I know Tyler Boyd I have on one roster, and I know he went for 1 for 75 and a tutty, so I'll take that. That was better than the week before.
I'll tell you what T. Higgins did. He did not do a touchdown, I'll tell you that. But in week 13, T. Higgins put up 5 of 8 receptions for 56 yards. So,
right. Serviceable. I think Drew Sample had a decent week too, from a PPR perspective, at least.
He did.
And AJ Green has been shut down for the year, I think.
I believe so.
I think that. So at least the splits, the pie is getting split fewer ways. Not that AJ Green was eating much of the pie, but Brandon Allen practiced in full today. So I don't know if they'll go back to Brandon Allen or stick with Ryan Finley after he finished out the game last week. But hopefully, at least Boyd and Higgins and potentially Sample, at least Sample, like outside of like Kelsey Waller and Hawk at this point, it's pretty much like even like Andrew's been injured or COVID and super inconsistent. You're just throwing darts with tight end on any given week. So you're just playing matchups. I just talked about with Memphis on, for the DFS slate. I like Gesicki this week too. Has been thrown to him, especially in the red zone. And the Chiefs defense hasn't been great against the tight end. I know that's a big digression, but that's what we do here. We talk about whatever the hell we want because we run the show, right, Matty?
Yeah, you know who was listed as questionable today on the injury report?
Who?
Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Are they going back to Ryan Fitzpatrick again?
They cannot. Please do not.
I hope they don't.
Is it still his thumb?
I believe so. And there's another name that popped up on injury reports that's not on our list is Deebo Samuel. He popped up with a foot contusion in practice.
Yeah, contusion is just a fancy word for bruise, but if it's affecting his ability to run, yeah, it depends. Like, is it the top of his foot? He got stepped on by a cleat. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he just. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he just doesn't go this week. I mean, San Francisco looked pretty atrocious on Monday night against Buffalo. Everybody, Garoppolo's down, Kittle's down. Everybody in the backfield has been down at some point. Defensive, offensive guys. Right, Bosa has been done for the whole year, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason for San Francisco to run. But that being said, like a contusion, like that's not something that. Like it might hurt while he runs, but he's probably not going to make it significantly worse by playing. It's not like a hamstring. It's not, it's not soft tissue. It's not ligament. It's bone. It doesn't like put it at risk to break or anything like that. But what is San Francisco playing for at this point, other than pride and spoiler? And they're playing Washington this week.
But Brandon Ayuk is the lone bright spot on that offense. Brandon Ayuk has been third in the league in fantasy points per game at wide receiver position since week 8 in the games he's played. This man is good. We're rubbing our hands over here because he's good.
Guess who just got him? I was Keenan Allen. He's been my darling on my non-contender dynasty, my first dynasty team ever. And all season long, I'm like, trying to, I got to put my salesman hat on, as Memphis says. And like every week we have our group chat. I'm like, wow, guys, you see what Keenan Allen did this week? Wow, did you see what Keenan Allen did this week? Wow, look at these numbers with Herbert. He's on pace to be like basically Michael Thomas was last year. And so finally, one guy was trying to trade me Ayuk for Allen straight up. And I'm like, no, like Keenan Allen's only 28 years old. He's now got the best quarterback throwing to him ever. And eventually I squeezed him for Ayuk and a second. And I'm feeling better about it every day. And I still got Herbert. The stack is nice, but I'll at least get the Allen points with Herbert through Herbert, and then I get to get a little bit younger at receiver. So yeah, I'm on the Ayuk train at this point. Dude's a stud.
Gotta love it. You gotta love Ayuk, man. He wears number 11 for a reason. I feel like every wide receiver who wears 11 is a beast. It's just that number swag, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say we have another thing about Deebo Samuel is he fractured his foot in the offseason.
Yeah.
And the fact that he bruised it is kind of concerning if it's the same foot, but we don't know because reports are reports. So they won't tell you jack crap.
Maybe someday I'll be close enough to all of that where we get accurate reports, detailed reports.
Maybe someday the players will just tweet out they're going to retire if they get COVID like Des Bryant.
Poor guy.
But that poor guy, man. He it was probably a false positive too, knowing COVID.
Seriously, yeah.
But Joshua Kelly suffered an ankle injury. LA Chargers running back, as we were talking about the Chargers.
Yeah.
This man hasn't been relevant since like week 3.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it doesn't matter. Eckler's back.
We had a discussion today. Would you rather have Myles Gaskin and or what is it? Joshua Kelly and a pick.
Yeah.
It's like probably a third and a Debbie. And we're like the pick because those two are both wet farts for 2021.
Well, Gaskin might be serviceable if you're a contender, but
you don't think I mean, but for 2021.
Oh yeah, for 2021,
he
obviously.
he's rebuilding.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't even bother with.
Just go get the pick.
Yeah.
Like Gaskin owners right now, this is a little dynasty tidbit in the MRI. Sell Gaskin for whatever you can right now because they're going to draft Najee Harris or Travis Etienne or one of those running backs who's going to come in and just supplant him. I mean, they need a running back. It's pretty apparent. Like, look, Savannah Med came in and he did the same exact workload as Gaskin and was as productive. Yeah. So they could easily replace him and get someone even better who's probably going to put up godly numbers on the offense.
And I think they're gonna with the young quarterback in Tua and a very strong defensive-minded head coach. They just feel like a team that is gonna want to pound the run game, take the pressure off of Tua, especially. He'll be going into a sophomore year, but really, like, how much experience did he get this year? He didn't come in until week 8 or so, and then also missed the game with some injury. So I think I like that thought process of bringing in a running back, and then leaning on the run game a bit there. So
yeah,
see you, Gaskin.
Yeah, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he got sick and he lost too much weight, so he didn't play. But he'll be. I think that's just hilarious. He must have had the LPs, as we call them in the Midwest, and lost too much weight.
The LPs?
Yeah, I'm not going to explain it.
I think I know. What's the L stand for?
Loose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just like way too much detail. Just say like he was ill.
Yeah. So Jay Sternberger, he suffered a concussion during the game. But they got Big Bob Tanya in there. So what is Sternberger really besides a nice stash on your dynasty roster at the barren wasteland of the tight end position? So
what are your thoughts on Tanyan? Is he a guy long term?
I sold him when he boomed. Yeah. I sold him, and I sold Tanyan and Hawkinson together for Travis Kelce and a contenders team for a contender just to get one. And I knew I wouldn't get Hawkinson to Kelce straight up. And, I'm a Lions fan, so I love Hawkinson.
Of course.
But, I just had to get that Travis Kelce production on my team, and it's carried me to the fantasy playoffs. So it was worth it for me. I sold Big Bob Tanyan everywhere I could. I don't know how productive he'll be going forward. Because they'll add pass catchers.
Yeah. Somebody was trying to peddle him to me, and I'm like, no, I'm not buying. I don't know. This just feels like if you're a non-contender, don't buy into like the potential hype until like you can. I feel like tight end is a piece that you can just add later. Like once you're a contender, then just find the tight end that is producing. Don't buy one now and hope it turns into something. Like, I mean, if you can get like a guy with draft capital, like if you got Hawk cheap in the offseason, like that would make sense. Like he was the 8th overall pick 2 years ago. Like, I'm adding Cole Kmet for free in leagues right now because he's, he'll be a sophomore next year and he's starting to pop a little bit this year. But don't just go trying to add these guys. Don't overpay for guys who don't have the proven talent. Like we see it every year where a guy pops a little bit and then he's irrelevant the following year.
Mm-hmm. And our next player is brought to you by HyperX. This logo right here, it's HyperX. We are affiliated. This podcast is officially affiliated with HyperX, the best sound quality, the best equipment you can get for gaming, for podcasting. These are Bluetooth. They have no noise. There's no delay when I speak because it's a good quality product. I love these. They're so comfy. I can wear them for about 8 hours without having any pain on my ears. So, I have big ears too. So that's just it's a nice benefit. And we're going to talk about DJ Moore. That's who HyperX is sponsoring today.
More like DJ Less, am I right?
Ha!
Unfortunately, yeah.
He got me everywhere too, because he's on my fantasy playoff teams.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 weeks ago we were talking about his ankle injury and how it wasn't very serious, and he'd probably be back before the bye. And then during that bye, what did he go out and buy himself? He bought himself a positive COVID test, and so I think he is very unlikely to play at this point. And some of the guys around him are also questionable, including Curtis Samuel and some other jabronis. But yeah, DJ Moore, disappointing.
And the dynasty aspect, people are going to tell you to play Ian Thomas. Do
Don't
don't
No.
listen to them. They're terrible people if they tell you to, because Matt Rule does not like his tight ends. So if you want to go buy someone right now for a fantasy playoff run, go get you some Robbie Anderson, because he is not the one who's tested positive for COVID like Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. He's okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to be force feeding some Robbie Anderson. They're going to get some undrafted free agents in there that they signed off of their practice squad, and we'll see what happens with that Carolina offense. But it's going to be ugly.
It's going to be ugly. Yeah, I don't think McCaffrey was a full participant in practice, but not a full participant. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
He had an LP, not the LP you were talking about, but a limited practice.
Okay. Yep. Limited. Yeah, I think that's it for our list of injuries. I know you just recorded the big bet tonight, so go check that out on our Dynasty Warzone page. What was your big prop bet? Just to give them a little juicy hook to get them to listen to it.
So I'm not doing the props. Memphis, the prop guy on the weekend, but my big bet.
Mm-hmm.
No, I won't give you my big bet. One of my likes. I like. Who do I like? I like the Colts laying 2.5 in Vegas. I think the Raiders are just about to crumble the rest of the year. They almost crumbled against the Jets. They crumbled against the Falcons a week ago. They are just I don't think there's much for that team to play for. And their defense is the civviest of all civ defenses at this point. Colts defense is getting healthier. So that's you want the big bet. If you want the big bet, you got to go listen to or watch the big bet. That's what I'm 9-3-1 on the season on my big bets, and I think I've hit. I think I was 3-3-1 at one point, so that means at least 6 in the last 6 I've hit. So hopefully it's 7 this week. I feel good about this one.
It's awesome, man. And to bring it full circle, I'm going to give you one name to go pick up: Ty Johnson, speedster out of Maryland. We talked about Frank Gore, the ageless wonder, already. He suffered a concussion, but he's already back practicing. But Ty Johnson had over 100 yards and a tutty. Go get some Ty Johnson, because he is a stash. He's not a play this week, but he's a play next week if he produces this week, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really like Ty Johnson's talent. Detroit Lions drafted him, so you know he's going to be good for another team. Go get yourself some Ty Johnson, and we're going to sign off.
Just think of how good he'll be when he's not so he'll be better because he was drafted by the Lions, but then he'll be even better when he's not under the Adam Gase spell. So he's gonna get him now before he's better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gase ruins everything. So with that, we're gonna leave you guys. Have a great playoffs. Have a great toilet bowl, whatever you're in. Attack it with 100% effort, guys. Set your lineups. So have a great week.